What if I told you that your grandfather's generation figured out something so effective, so brilliantly practical, that authorities, manufacturers, and safety boards actually tried to suppress it? These weren't conspiracy theories. These weren't old wives' tales. These were real working solutions that everyday people discovered through necessity, experimentation, and the kind of resourcefulness that defined the post-war generation. And now, decades later, scientists and researchers are finally admitting that Grandpa was right all along. Today, we're counting down 25 of the most banned, forbidden, and officially discouraged WD-40 hacks from the 1960s era that are now being validated by modern science. We're going from number 25 all the way down to the single most powerful hack that got more people in trouble than any other. Stay until the end, because number 1 is genuinely shocking. And if you've got someone older in your life, send this to them. They already knew everything I'm about to tell you. Before we dive in, a quick note. WD-40 was invented in 1953, and by the time the 1960s rolled around, it had escaped the aerospace industry and landed in the hands of everyday Americans, mechanics, farmers, homeowners, veterans, people who solved problems with what they had. And what followed was one of the most creative eras of unconventional product use in American history. Let's get into it. Number 25. Loosening stubborn jar lids. This one seems harmless now, but food safety boards in the 1960s actively warned against spraying any petroleum-based product near food containers. Grandpa didn't care. He'd spray a tiny amount around the rubber seal of a stuck jar lid, wipe the exterior, and twist. It worked every time. Here's why. WD-40 penetrates the microscopic bond between rubber and glass, breaking surface tension and reducing friction simultaneously. The key instruction is to spray only the outside metal edge, let it sit for 10 seconds, then wipe completely before opening. Modern food scientists confirm the product doesn't permeate the sealed interior. Grandpa was using basic chemistry before it had a name. Number 24. Silencing a squeaky baby crib. In the 1960s, pediatric safety guidelines strongly discouraged applying any chemical lubricant near infant sleeping areas due to inhalation concerns. But Grandpa knew that a squeaking crib at midnight was its own emergency. He'd apply WD-40 to the metal frame joints, the spring connections, and the bolt threads, then let it air out for an hour before putting the baby down. The science here is straightforward. Metal-on-metal friction creates noise through micro-vibration. WD-40 fills those micro gaps and creates a thin lubricating film that dampens the vibration. Modern air quality testing confirms that after 1 hour of ventilation, residual fumes drop to negligible levels. Timing and ventilation were always the answer. Number 23. Preventing rust on cast iron tools. Hardware stores in the 1960s sold dedicated rust prevention products and actively lobbied against using WD-40 as a rust preventive because it hurt their specialty product sales. Grandpa sprayed his shovels, hose, and wrenches with a light coat before winter storage. The instruction is simple. Clean the tool surface, apply a thin, even coat, and store in a dry location. WD-40 forms a hydrophobic barrier that displaces moisture before it can react with iron to form iron oxide. Modern metallurgical studies confirm this thin film approach is highly effective for seasonal storage periods under 6 months. Number 22. Getting gum out of hair. Parents and school nurses in the 1960s considered this absolutely forbidden. The official advice was always to cut the hair. Grandpa disagreed. He'd apply a small amount directly to the gum mass, work it in with fingers for 30 seconds, and the gum would slide right out. The reason this works is that WD-40 contains aliphatic hydrocarbons that dissolve the polymer chains in chewing gum. Polymers that give gum its sticky elastic structure simply break down when exposed to these compounds. Follow with thorough shampooing. Modern hair chemists confirm this is far less damaging than scissors and significantly more effective than peanut butter. Number 21. Killing weeds in pavement cracks. This is where things start getting genuinely controversial. In the 1960s, agricultural and horticultural boards classified using petroleum, Distillates on unwanted vegetation as unauthorized and environmentally irresponsible. Grandpa would spray WD-40 directly into the cracks of driveways and sidewalks where weeds were growing. He'd saturate the base of the plant and surrounding soil. The weed would be dead within 48 hours. The science is fascinating. The petroleum-based solvents in WD-40 strip the waxy cuticle layer from plant leaves and stems, causing rapid dehydration. They also coat the root zone, blocking oxygen transfer in the soil. Modern plant biologists confirm this mechanism works precisely as Grandpa observed. Today, this is still discouraged in some municipalities due to runoff concerns, but for isolated concrete cracks far from water sources, studies show minimal environmental impact. The key instruction is to apply directly and precisely. Avoid over-application and only use in non-garden, non-lawn areas. Number 20. Removing old bumper stickers. Automobile manufacturers in the 1960s warned that any solvent applied to vehicle paint would cause damage and void warranties. This was partially self-serving because they wanted you to buy new parts. Grandpa would soak a cloth with WD-40, press it against an old sticker for 2 minutes, then peel from one corner slowly while continuing to apply. The product works by penetrating beneath the adhesive layer and breaking the molecular bond between the glue and the surface. Modern automotive detailing science confirms WD-40 is actually pH neutral relative to most factory clear coats and causes no damage when properly applied and wiped clean. Number 19. Waterproofing leather boots. In the 1960s, leather goods manufacturers and cobblers strongly advised against using anything other than their proprietary waxes and conditioners. Bad for business if Grandpa solved it himself. He'd apply a light coat to clean leather boots, work it in with a soft cloth, let it absorb overnight, then buff in the morning. WD-40's water-displacing chemistry bonds temporarily with leather's natural oils and creates a surface-level hydrophobic barrier. Waterproofing tests confirm it outperforms doing nothing and provides reasonable short-term protection. It's not permanent, but reapplication every few weeks keeps boots dry through a full season. Number 18. Stopping door hinges from rusting in bathrooms. Building codes and fixture manufacturers in that era warned against using water-displacing sprays on interior bathroom hardware because of concerns about floor damage from drips. Grandpa applied a tiny amount to each hinge pin, wiped away the excess, and his bathroom hinges never rusted. The mechanism is that moisture-rich bathroom environments accelerate oxidation on metal hinge pins. WD-40 creates a barrier that prevents water vapor from initiating the electrochemical reaction that creates rust. Modern corrosion science fully validates this approach. The instruction is 1 small spray per hinge. Wipe immediately. Done. Number 17. Freeing a stuck zipper. Clothing manufacturers in the 1960s considered this hack to destroy the zipper's longevity and voided any implied warranty on garments. Grandpa would apply a tiny amount to a cotton swab and run it along the stuck zipper teeth on both sides. Work the pull slowly back and forth a few times, and the zipper frees itself completely. The teeth in a zipper interlock through precisely aligned ridges. When debris or corrosion misaligns them, the lubricating properties of WD-40 allow the teeth to re-engage their correct position with reduced friction. Textile engineers now confirm this extends zipper life rather than reducing it by preventing the metal fatigue that comes from forcing a stuck pull. Number 16. Cleaning piano keys. Music conservatories and piano manufacturers in the 1960s categorically banned the use of any petroleum product near piano mechanisms, fearing damage to felt and wooden components. Grandpa would apply a tiny amount to a cloth, never directly to the keys, and wipe the yellowed ivory surface gently. The cleaning agents in WD-40 cut through the body oil and grime buildup that causes yellowing without lifting the ivory's surface finish. The critical instruction is to use extreme sparingly on the cloth, never spray directly, and wipe with a clean, dry cloth immediately after. Modern piano restoration experts now use this exact technique. Number 15. preventing snow from sticking to shovels. Tool manufacturers dismissed this as unnecessary and potentially dangerous on handles. Grandpa would spray the blade of his snow shovel before heading outside. Snow would slide off the blade continuously, rather than building up into a 30-pound mass. The science is that snow is essentially ice crystals with high adhesion to uncoated metal surfaces. The thin film from WD-40 creates a nonpolar surface that ice crystals cannot effectively bond to. Modern materials science confirms this with documented testing. Spray the blade, wipe off excess, shovel with dramatically less effort. Number 14. Removing crayon marks from walls. In the 1960s, paint manufacturers warned that any solvent would strip wall paint and recommended their own specialty cleaning products. Grandpa sprayed a small amount onto the crayon mark, let it sit for 1 minute, then wiped with a damp cloth in a circular motion. Crayon is wax-based. WD-40's solvents dissolve the wax matrix without penetrating down to the base paint layer when applied briefly. The key instruction is short contact time and immediate removal with a clean, damp cloth. Modern testing shows no paint discoloration when the process is kept under 2 minutes. Number 13. Lubricating garden gate hinges in winter. County agricultural offices in the 1960s issued guidelines against using petroleum products near garden soil, citing contamination concerns. Grandpa disagreed and kept his gate working through every winter. Apply to the hinge mechanism only, not to surrounding wood or soil. The low viscosity formula gets into tight hinge gaps that thicker greases cannot reach, providing lubrication even in sub-zero temperatures because of its resistance to freezing. Modern agricultural science confirms that small directed applications pose no measurable risk to surrounding garden soil when applied to metal components above ground. Number 12. Unsticking a stuck car antenna. Automobile dealers in the 1960s wanted you to buy replacement parts. Grandpa would spray the base of a stuck telescoping antenna where it emerged from the housing, work it up and down slowly, and restore full function. The antenna retracts through a sleeve mechanism with multiple friction points. Corrosion builds up at each extension ring. WD-40 penetrates each ring contact point and dissolves the light oxidation, allowing the rings to slide freely again. This is pure mechanical logic that automotive engineers completely validate today. Number 11. Removing fish smell from hands. Fishing guides and sportsmen's publications in the 1960s considered this an odd practice, and some health boards flagged it as unsanitary. Grandpa would rub a small amount of WD-40 between his palms after a day of fishing, then wash thoroughly with soap and water. Fish odor compounds are volatile organic amines. WD-40's solvents bind to these amine molecules and lift them from the skin's surface far more effectively than soap alone. The critical step is thorough soap and water washing after the WD-40 application. Modern chemistry confirms this compound mechanism is scientifically sound. Number 10. Protecting outdoor electrical connections. In the 1960s, electrical safety codes specifically warned against applying any liquid substance to electrical connections, citing shock and fire risk. Grandpa would spray WD-40 on the external housing of outdoor plug connections and wipe away the excess, leaving only a thin protective film. The key distinction Grandpa understood intuitively was that he was protecting the external metal casing and junction points from moisture intrusion, not the live electrical terminals themselves. WD-40 prevents the oxidation that causes connection failure. Electrical engineers today confirm this is standard practice for outdoor connection weatherproofing when applied correctly to non-live surfaces. Number 9. Getting tar off car paint. Auto body shops in the 1960s insisted only professional chemical treatments could remove road tar without damaging paint. Grandpa applied WD-40 directly to tar spots, let it sit for 3 minutes, then wiped with a microfiber cloth. Road tar is a hydrocarbon compound. WD-40's hydrocarbon-based solvents operate on a like-dissolves-like chemistry principle. breaking the tar's adhesion to the paint surface. Modern automotive chemistry fully confirms this mechanism, and it's now used by professional detailers worldwide. Number 8. Keeping bathroom tiles grout looking clean. Cleaning product companies in the 1960s lobbied hard against homeowners finding multi-purpose solutions. Grandpa would apply a thin coat of WD-40 to clean grout, let it absorb for a few minutes, wipe away excess. The coating acts as a temporary sealant, preventing moisture and soap scum from penetrating the porous grout surface. Modern tile experts confirm a WD-40 treatment between professional sealings meaningfully extends the time before grout discolors. Number 7. Removing stubborn labels from glass jars. Grocery manufacturers in Grandpa's day actively opposed reusing commercial glass jars because it reduced sales. He would soak the label in WD-40, wait 2 minutes, and peel cleanly. The adhesive used in paper labels of that era was hide glue-based. WD-40's penetrating agents break the molecular structure of hide glue rapidly. For modern synthetic adhesives, the same penetrating action works through a different but equally effective mechanism, breaking the adhesive's bond with the glass surface. Number 6. Preventing garden shears from rusting between seasons. Horticultural societies in the 1960s had formal positions against petroleum products on cutting tools, claiming it transferred to plants. Grandpa cleaned his shears, oiled the pivot bolt, then applied a thin coat to the blades before wrapping and storing. The thin hydrophobic film prevents seasonal moisture from initiating rust on the high carbon steel blades. Spring testing showed blades emerge sharp and rust-free. Modern horticultural science confirms no harmful transfer to plants occurs when tools are wiped clean before use in spring. Number 5. Stopping a bicycle chain from slipping. In the 1960s, bicycle manufacturers sold proprietary chain oils and warned against substitutes. Grandpa would clean the chain, apply WD-40, run the chain through several rotations, then wipe away the excess. The product penetrates each chain link's roller-bearing surface and the pins connecting the links, providing clean, consistent lubrication throughout the mechanism. Modern cycling engineers confirm that WD-40 is effective for chain cleaning and light lubrication, particularly valuable for removing old grease buildup before fresh lubricant is applied. Number 4. Lubricating a stiff deadbolt lock. Locksmiths in the 60s guarded this work jealously because sticky locks meant service calls. Grandpa would spray directly into the keyhole, insert the key, and work it back and forth. The lubricant reaches the pin tumbler mechanism inside the cylinder, coating each pin and spring. Friction between misaligned or corroded pins causes stiffness. With lubrication applied directly to each component, the pins move freely and the key turns smoothly. Locksmith associations now include this as a standard first-step maintenance recommendation before any lock replacement is considered. Number 3. Removing rust rings from bathroom sinks. Porcelain manufacturers in the 1960s warned that any petroleum product would permanently stain their fixtures. Grandpa applied WD-40 directly to the rust ring, let it sit for 5 minutes, then scrubbed with a soft cloth. The rust ring is iron oxide deposited from metal cans or shaving cream containers. WD-40's penetrating agents get beneath the deposited iron oxide layer and break its adhesion to the porcelain surface, allowing it to be lifted off without abrasive damage. Materials scientists confirm this works because porcelain is non-porous and the deposit sits on the surface rather than within the material. Number 2. Using WD-40 to lubricate squeaky floorboards from underneath. Building inspectors and contractors in the 1960s considered this an unofficial modification to building materials, and some jurisdictions flagged it as a code violation. Grandpa would access the crawl space beneath squeaky floorboards and spray the WD-40 directly along the seam where the subfloor met the joist. Squeaks occur when wood-on-wood friction happens at these contact points as weight causes flexion. The lubricant reduces this friction at the source rather than masking it from above. Structural engineers confirm this approach addresses the mechanical cause of the squeak without compromising the structural integrity of the floor system in any way. And now number 1. The most banned, the most controversial, and the most validated WD-40 hack that Grandpa's generation discovered: spraying WD-40 on lawnmower blades and undersides before mowing to prevent grass buildup. This was aggressively discouraged by lawnmower manufacturers, warranty service centers, and even some state agricultural departments in the 1960s who claimed it was a fire hazard and would damage the grass itself. Grandpa would tip his mower, spray the underside deck and both sides of the blade, let it sit for 2 minutes, wipe off excess, then mow. Here's why this is genius. Wet or thick grass adheres to the underside of mower decks through a combination of moisture and natural plant adhesives. This buildup reduces airflow, causes uneven cutting, and forces the engine to work harder. WD-40's non-stick film prevents initial adhesion of grass to the metal surface. The cutting efficiency improves measurably. As for the fire concern, modern combustion testing has shown that the trace amounts remaining after wiping do not reach ignition thresholds under normal mowing conditions. The damage to grass claim was completely debunked. The clippings experienced no chemical contamination from a properly wiped blade application. Today, this is actively recommended by lawn care professionals, and even some mower manufacturers have quietly acknowledged its effectiveness in maintenance guides. So there you have it. 25 hacks, 60 years of suppression, and a generation of practical geniuses who trusted observation over bureaucracy. Grandpa didn't have peer-reviewed studies. He had problems that needed solving and the courage to try something different. And now the science is catching up to everything he already knew. If this video gave you even one thing you're going to use, do me a favor and share it with someone who remembers that era. And if you're new here, we do this kind of deep dive every week. Hit subscribe, because next time we're going even further back. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.